Hello, Nigerians. Hello, all. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nollywood Dealmakers, where we discuss with professionals, experts, researchers on all things the business of filmmaking in Nigeria. It is value chain and all things that encompasses to make it works and make it that a culture. I mean, cinema going, the entertainment stop. And today, as usual, we are with one of the big fish in the industry who have known his gig and put in all footprints for years. We just grown up seeing him on doing what he knows how to do best. We just grown up seeing him doing what he knows how to do best, writing, journalism, and selling Nigeria to the world as a destination. And this person is no other than Mr. Prank Mickey. Mr. Prank Mickey is the CEO of Creative Nigeria, and he has been a media entrepreneur and also a travel consultant. And as well, I mean, he is a man with brightest of mentals. He also different books trying to sell Nigeria, and also, I mean, he's a climate person. He loved nature. He loved nature. He related with nature, and I believe you'll enjoy having Mr. Frank McKay with us. And tonight we'll be discussing on how films locations could be a very viable destination to the global audience. Meaning, which we are trying to find answer to this question: how films location can become a competitive destination in Nigeria. We all know that Nollywood is the second largest, biggest film industry in the world. But is that making a sense? Is that building a fraternity for the locals? I mean, tourism, making the business of experience, selling experience works, just like what is happening in London, New Zealand. I mean, the Hollywood itself. We know that films like Harry Potter have sold London to bigger audience, and films like Lord of the Rings have sold New Zealand. Films like even Troy sell Turkey, and I mean films like Ertogral have sold Turkey to the global audience. Many people who don't know Turkey have got to know Turkey. And tonight we are here to discuss how Nigeria could tap into film tourism economy. And we feel like Mr. Prank Meki is the best hand to answer this. So to discuss and conversate about this, I would like to welcome Mr. Frank McKay. Sir, you're welcome. Hello, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you, Musa. It's good to be here, and it's good to see you and what you young persons are doing. Uh, yes, So I thank you for the opportunity to share my experience with you, or to look at what Nollywood should do or should have done. But again, for every society, there must be something that one must relate with. What is the driving force behind such business? Nollywood here, you could find out that various factors drives their initiatives and their businesses. Until recently, maybe through Lansing Immersion, who did 1860. If you're looking at how the British plundered the old Benin Kingdom. We didn't come near to that. Also remember that during the time of Peter Iho at NTA, also have Kokoro if you remember. I know some of you may be still young there to know about Kokoro, but I'm sure you heard about that. So a lot of things they have done. Those areas are films that brought some kind of attention to some of the sites. Very beautiful sites and landscapes that we have in Nigeria. And believe me, Musa, this country is loaded when it comes to landscapes. But again, Nollywood, as we know it, until recently, have not been doing documentaries. They all do family films that has to do with what people want to do, just like a message. You go to a drug producer or pharmacist, they will give you possibly the drugs that you are interested in, not the one that you feel or people really actually needed, but it's subject to demand as the case may be. So, but with what we are seeing all over the world, how films have played roles in Singapore, in India, all over the place, how their flicks have been brought into showcasing their landscapes, their people, their culture, even food. They'll ask you in this kind of investment, does it pay them to roll out a flick talking about our way of life? Is the question that most Nollywood financiers or even the film editors or producers would need really to ask. But for me, I think what Lassen did with 1860 and Peter Ego, who was there ahead, are primary examples, critical examples of how we can turn around this, because you can find a nation of people, without knowledge of its foundation.
Okay. Okay, we are with you. We are with you, sir.
Yeah, so I'm seeing just to, I let me also look about, because most of the places we heard about the film industry practical rules in, showcasing the sights and sounds of their nation and people are something we need to learn. In fact, sometimes it helps to break in when it comes to even property development. I remember the Yellowstone. I met this guy, Demi Richards. I met him in Namibia. He's one of the actors in Yellowstone. Yellowstone, remember, is one of the first national parks all over the world, the first in the US. But actually, the Yellowstone is not about Yellowstone National Park. It's just a property, where that film was shot, in Womayan. And, and become a critical place where investors now go there. They want to prefer the landed property around there becomes so expensive. If everybody wants to go to where that film was shot and, relive that experience, they want to relive the experience as the case may be. So critically, these are the roles that Nollywood need to bring into. But again, research is very important. Research in these areas. What are the landscape? How many of them do they know? They tell you, oh, the place is not secure. They'll give you all kind of excuses. Well, I tell you, recently there was Gang of Lagos. Okay, there's a film, Gang of Lagos, depicting the Eyo masquerade and all those. Though it created a lot of controversies. There were controversies about it. Sometimes I call it positive controversies, like it's something that really we need to sit down and ask ourselves question that, okay, if you want to produce a film, you really need to, and you want to talk about people and their destination, there's need for you to talk about the owners of that ecosystem, the communities, the traditional rulers. They can even supply you with missing links and information, because at the end of the day, when it gets to international market, it is about those people that attract tourists to come there, attract people to show interest in that place. And before you know it, the community will be the beneficiaries of such, an attention. But here you find out that the Nollywood producers, they go into the field, they don't get to the community, they don't talk to the state. Excuse me. They don't talk to the state, they don't talk to the stakeholders, and they do it all. At the end of the day, everybody's not carried along, and then problem will emanate. But in trying to promote this nation, because in this time that where everybody says, oh, Nigeria is not a place to go. Please, this is the time that Nollywood need to come in and intervene. Showcase the good parts of this country. Showcase our landscapes. Nigeria recently, as last year, the outgone president approved 10 national parks. I've been to all the 10, and believe me, these are wonderful sites, wonderful places that you can go shoot films, maybe with the permission of the management of the National Park Service. They will gladly oblige you license to shoot your films in those areas. And they are secured. They are protected areas. So when we do that, we are not only showcasing our country, we are showcasing, about diversity, which is about people. We are also attracting attention, international attention to those areas in terms of support, in terms of visitation. So there's a lot of benefit, plenty of benefits that we can benefit. We should benefit when we properly package, Nollywood interest in what we have, as a nation. So these are big missing link. I tell you, what the man told us in Namibia was critical. That film Yellowstone, it's not just a box office breaker. The landed property within the area where it was shot, people were paying billions, to buy lands in those areas so that they can relive or reenact that same Yellowstone experience, which actually is like a make-believe around it, though it picked up from Yellowstone National Park in the US. But again, it is not really talking about Yellowstone. So these are some of those things that that we need to look at. And of course, talk about how they lived in the then older times in America, how the cowboys, how they, of course, land grabbings, cow cow grabbing and all those things. But again, it's interesting because it brought a lot of attention to that area, and it's beneficial. So for us here in Nigeria, I think Nollywood need to wake up. I will speak for them. I believe that maybe funding is the issue. I also believe they don't have the critical manpower in terms of researchers, because you need to get people who research or let them read up some books. I did a book, Race to Nikki. It was a reenactment of Lord Lugard, in the race to partition the old Bagu kingdom. If you go through that book, believe me, you have a film script on your hands, which can be turned into a film. I tried to talk to one Kule Folayan, I met him in Abuja, but these guys, I believe.
Kule Folayan, the producer and director of October 1st.
Yeah, so I tried so that, that could also be, put in a film in a sunlight and then sold to Nigerians. But we used to be one of the biggest. In fact, it's one nation that the Fulani, couldn't really break. So it took the British to really partition them, and it was a big fight. It was a big one, because these are critical things that I believe that Nollywood should do. We should go back. Government should also fund Nollywood or assist them. Today, you find out in most states, they used to be around where I live in Sulere. That's why they started somewhere in Sulere, where they took off. From there, there are problems. Area boys, of course, harassing them. They have to go to Enugu. Now, Enugu is not also that to save, to shoot films. So, and some of these things are not something you do within the studio. You need to really go out there, particularly in showcasing a landscape. You don't create landscapes inside a studio. You need to go out and capture those segments and bring it to life. We'll talk about waterways. Some of our rivers are gone. You can't find them anymore. We'll talk about places, relative places like Gembu, where we have the Mabila Plateau. Great places that can tell a lot of stories. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't know what is happening, but I'm sure that is also one big economy that we can turn around in terms of documentary, that we can promote our country around the world, because everybody will see it, particularly with Netflix and all the online streaming, even like what you are doing now. To just one day we could just go do this interview on the Mabila Plateau, or we go to Maha National Park, Farirua, and we have Farirua fall behind us, and then we can shoot this, we can talk about those areas, live. But again, a lot of resources are involved. You need to, putting this thing together. Let me tell you, it's like going for a military assignment. If you're going to do documentary formation, you need to get ambulance, you need to get your helicopter, you need to get security, you need to get logistics, so it's like preparing for war. If you have to do the best I can in this area, maybe those are the challenges
for sure.
Maybe those are the challenges that Nollywood is having, because most of them, of course, you realize that's why they go for films. I love you film. All those family things, but they're not going into real history about this nation, about the landscape of this nation, about the beauty of this nation, about our food, about our fashion. I was at Ojodioba on Friday. You need to see how beautiful Nigerians attire themselves. In fact, I begin to wonder that could cause a revolution in the revival of, the weaving industry, which have gone over time. And if I those are showcased, that everybody was during that day, everybody was wearing. Most of them possibly were imported. The Chinese are here now. Even they now convert, which is not original. But the red that we have here are cotton. So these are some of the critical areas that the roles that films can play, Nollywood in particular, to advance the cause of promoting Nigeria and giving Nigeria a good image outside. What people see is what they like. What they like is what they visit. And when they visit, they end up loving that thing. That is not the truth. So it's an ecosystem. You need to see first. Like me, I'm wearing an address. I deliberately wore this, though it's open because the weather is a little bit hot. We talk about NEPA in this place and all those things are system. They just took the last.
And it's not part of tourism. It's part of tourism. It's promotion.
I try to cover this because I don't want to offend anybody's sensibility. We don't know who is watching, but the truth of the matter is we need to kind of reflect what we have. We need to wear what we have. We need to show people what we have and what we are. And how do you do that? Is through through films, through live streamings like this. Like I said, one of these days, Musa, God helping you. One day we could just say, oh, let's go to Paranua, that's my hair national park. Let's go and shoot. Or we go to Padam, we go to where Coco Adon was shot. Let's go there and do this thing live. So when people who of course join in these discussions, they will come to reality and say, oh, beautiful. So we have this place. Then they will now say, look, maybe two of them, they'll just say, or three. They say, let's go to Jos. Or let's go to Nasarawa, as the case may be. By the time you get there, you not take, absolutely, because the film can't give you everything, but it gives you a bird's eye view of what is there. You see the originality of the environment. You see the uniqueness of the environment, the beauty of the environment. You fall in love with it, and you'll be the one marketing it. I think that's one missing link also, that's there when it comes to promoting Nigeria. That synergy is not there. The Nigeria Tourism Development Authority, they call themselves now, are not also partnering or getting the Nollywood to come to see the beauty of Nigeria. At least provide them access, access to the place, opportunities or even logistics to say, come, shoot your film around this place. Because the moment you shoot films, people will go there for holidays. People will even buy your property in those areas. There are a lot of private people today who are investing in nature-related areas. They buy lodges, they build, lodges, they build, rest places for themselves in those areas. It's just like churches also. Sometimes the churches will just take a place and turn it to a city. And then people, the worshippers there or members of the church can buy a piece of land and build a house so that every weekend when they are church service, they don't need to go looking for a hotel. They will stay in such places. So before you know it, a city has emerged. So you tell me which city in Nigeria or landscape in Nigeria, because Hollywood has not really paid, the film ecosystem. Nigerian Film Assessors Board, of course, they should be there. Of course, we have Nigerian Film Corporation, who also should, we have government agencies, particularly Film Corporation, which ought to show light. NTA is there. What about our TV stations? Sometimes I look at everybody's in the studio. Musa, everybody stays in the studio. It doesn't bring anything new.
Yes.
Why don't Arise go to Obudu? You understand? And air is a 7 a.m. news, or talk about nature, or talk about the country from the height of Obudu, or for the height of Mambila. Why don't the TV stations go out there and broadcast live? Broadcast live from those areas. When you broadcast live from those areas, definitely it attract people. We attract you, AIT, all of them, Arise, NTA, go outside, stop staying in the studio. I mean, I don't understand the fund. Maybe, again, it's hard to do with funds, but all those things. But go out. They have outside broadcast.
And for NTA is lack of interest.
Well, it's sad. But when Peter Hope was there, he was able to, of course, we're talking about, a lot of movies he has done, or about a lot of documentaries he's done, to change the perception and image of this country when he was at NTA. Though it's in a private house. I met him in Abuja during the Nahuto's Gastronomy Festival. A lot of us, he spoke to us. A kind of narrative that I couldn't forget for a long time. But for me, also, who have traveled around this country, believe me, let me tell you, Musa, there's one place after Mambila. It's called Njiwa, the Nigerian border between Nigeria border with Cameroon and Taraba and all that. Believe me, the place is like a valley. You need to be strong to go through that. You need to go to drive through those processes. It's native, it's daring. A lot of things I know that once you come out with, when you shoot from there, believe me, you are opening the place to the world, because there are a lot of people, adventurers, who are looking for such areas, to go, fly their trades. And of course, the foreign currencies with the communities will benefit. A lot of people will benefit. Nollywood will benefit. The TV stations themselves will benefit. Because I wonder why most stations, they don't have, they don't have a department really going around doing documentaries about this country and selling it through their stations, even if for 30 minutes. Oh, today we want to focus on Ukudu. Today, those are famous places known already, but there are a lot of places that are yet to know. A lot of waterways that they could boat onto, and from here, for instance, from Lagos here to Port Novo, we did it recently. About that beautiful sites. You can see nature on spot, virgin. You understand? So there's a lot of life in the environment, there's a lot of life in our landscapes, a lot of life about our country. But those who have the station, if I'm a TV manager or a TV manager at KC, I will do my shootings. I will do my shootings, I'll do my programs outside the studio. I know it's because of money to move some equipment, but there used to be outside broadcast equipment. So what are they doing? Why are they lying fallow in the offices? Take them out. Shoot about this country. Talk about this station. Bring people. You'll be amazed how many people will be tuned to that station. How many people are going to call them to conduct them on a tours? So they also make money. They can even set up a tour department in those TV stations that can take people to places where they have sold these films or where they have showcased or done documentary. So it's important. It's important for us to look at all these things because 200 million people, a great history, great tradition, culture, unbelievable, diverse. The diversity of our culture is so enormous that, believe me, all the attempts that, for instance, I read recently that government is saying they are going to defend interest in funding National Council for Arts and Culture. And I believe that's a wrong notion. They didn't understand the essence of culture. Look at our young persons today. They've gone the European way. They are so Eurocentric. They dance Eurocentric. In fact, they are so rebellious. They dress open, tongue clothes. In fact, they call it dressing. I don't know what they call it. They drink and smoke. Go to NDLA. They tell you how many of their youth are under the influence of drugs. They don't only consume it, they participate in it. They participate in it. They drink. They smoke, and that have been destroying. These are the future leaders. But we can use documentary to change about our culture, about our people, and what we have to change their perception about this country. Everybody, every Nigerian act that you see is copying what is happening in Europe. Of course, that's where they make their money. But here, really, that's why I said there's no entertainment economy here. It is not here. The real money is outside the country. What they bring here is the bad influence. They bring the bad influence, they destroy the young persons here. I was at that Ojojo, but you need to see any festival that's happening in Nigeria, go and check. The young ones are so rebellious about the culture. They are rebellious. They drink and smoke openly. They dress nakedly. They can do anything. It's like Bewitched and all this. Because the foreign contents, foreign films, foreign flicks have bewitched us. Some of the great documentaries we see all over the world are done outside this country. We enjoy them when we fly out of this country. In most of these European carriers, they show documentaries, about their country, about their people. And we so much love it. We love the nature. We love the place. So we want to visit that place. How many of it have been done here? Nobody's interested. NTA is not doing nothing.
And in that case, if your friend in Airfish, if you saw, and even Asman, if you see the kind of implied entertainment they showcase, that too is more foreign, and they don't finance documentarians and entertainers to produce a local content that could be able to showcase implied.
I quite agree with you. I think the whole thing has to be with collaboration, because this man runs an aviation business. I look at it now, the cost of buying aviation fuel, paying pilots, logistics and all those things. You find that it's very expensive. So they have little left to exclusively run a documentary which they can put on their aircraft. So they depend on this private sector to supply that. I think they can pay. So when there's collaboration, and the job is very well done. So if I'm doing 6 hours between here and UK, or between here and South Africa, maybe airpiece or all those. Yeah, even 1 hour within Nigeria. Between here and Sokoto, about almost how many hours? Between here and Meduguri, almost 2.5 hours, so they're about flight. So it could be always sometimes. So when you have something showcasing about our culture, our festivals, and our people, definitely that will impact. So when you get down to Sokoto, you say, "Oh, I saw this thing on a flick while I was coming. Can I go to that place?" What about the architecture? Northern architecture, like Peter Holt told us. There's a way they build house in the north, vis-a-vis against the south. You understand? And those things can be captured, the way we live. It contributes to national development. It contributes to science. It contributes to development. So there's a lot of benefits that films can bring about our people, our country, our culture, about ourselves that will be beneficial. But what do we see here? Everybody is just on his own. So it is what we sell for you that you go for. And that's why you see Nollywood is about love. You see, not love is more or less like comedy and all those. And those things is flaking. After a while, it's gone. And of course, it contributes to some of the immorality that we see in the system among our young persons. But when you do documentary, you look at our people, our history, how our fathers lived, how they were able to survive, how they were able to build our people. Look at the Benin arts and craft, for instance, which is recently returned from outside the country. The Europeans took them away, made a lot of money out of it, until you start making noise. It's our own, before they gradually and grudgingly be returning some of them. But again, now, nobody's even showcasing those ones that have been returned. Their history. Why was it done? What is it saying? What is it? Because for every artwork, there's a message. For every artwork, there's a message. Even the way we live, there's a message inherited in it. We need to blend with nature. For instance, when you are farming, you don't farm all the time. You leave certain place, then you come back a year later. So these are strategic. But these days, because of modern science, you can farm around the whole year. That is why you see a lot of people falling ill, because the organic foods are no longer there. So historically, it ties to our lifestyle, what we do with ourselves. And that's why the Europeans, the Americans, or the whites, the case may be, or the Asians, they pay a lot of detailed history about themselves, about their future, about their culture, where they are coming, where they are going. Right here in Nigeria, except of recent times when you want to, but it's not sustainable. You just have one or two. It doesn't go well for our country. But I challenge state-owned, federal government-owned TV stations. If the Nollywood can't really do it, the TV stations that we have, like I said, they can go shoot. Let's say, we used to have money ride. Go do it on the tops of Mandela, or go to Farinruwa in Nasarawa State, or go to Jos, go to Kaduna, anywhere, and do a live broadcast of these places. Let's do a live broadcast from those places. You see, that will change the orientations of Nigerians. That will make people to go and find out, where did Arise shoot this morning? Their news, they presented it from the hills, from these hills in Obudo or from Mabila. Everybody will go there. They too want to go there. Maybe they will run into Arise TV crew, so that they can capture them. So, but that we are changing. We're changing the history of our people. We're making people to believe in what we have. We're changing patriotism. We're encouraging people to eat home, to dress as we wish to dress, and to talk as we wish to talk. Today, you see an African, he will want to smart or as speak an European. When the European is coming to learn about Nigerian language, African language. Look at a young girl who went to China and did well, came out first class. Okay, that's Mandarin. The Chinese today, why the British came with their Bible, okay, they came with religion. I won't say the Bible, they came with religion, to partition and to, of course, I won't say they stole from us, but that's just the truth. They use their Bible to divide our economy, take our people away. The Chinese too are back today. I won't call them modern slave masters. They are coming with their culture. For every institution in Nigeria, from University of Msuka to Polytechnic in or such is even in Unilag, you can the Confucius Institute. And those are powerful tools to which the Chinese are reaching out to Nigerians. In fact, before you know it, Nigerians will be speaking Mandarin. Some of them will not even speak Yoruba, will not be able to speak Hausa, will not be speaking Igbo, but will speak the Chinese because, they are also running the economy. So they are coming to Africa, and how do they get to us? They know that culture is very important. So they bring in their culture, they bring their language, and we're learning. A Nigerian young lady just took first class. So all over the world today, yes, you may be projecting Nigeria, but it's Chinese. Okay, it's the Chinese. Oh, this festival, I can go to China and go and learn their language. So everybody will be running to China now, you know, to learn about the Chinese language and their way of life. And tomorrow we'll be complaining that they are here, they have taken over virtually every aspect of this place. They fry akara in Kanu, the Chinese fry akara in Kanu. You know, the Chinese now do adire, even though they are plastic, they bring it here. You know, when you wear it, it's like you're wearing some rubber, as the case may be. It's not cotton. Okay? So their paintings there, artistic work, I won't say they stole them, but sometimes those things disappear. They go and reform it and bring it back here. You know, we're a consuming nation. So we consume, we buy. Meanwhile, these are things that are original from us and it's about us.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. You have said so much. You have said so much. And these are the reality of our country. And we need to sort it out in the sense that we have to package Nigeria. This is more of destination branding.
Yes. Yeah, and you can't do destination branding when it's not original. You do understand? And that is why we're saying destination branding, we have to start with those of us that are in the media. All my life, even on my Facebook, believe me, I choose to do and reflect what I see around us. The people I meet, the food they eat, the clothes they wear, their dances, okay? Unique things. I don't get involved with all these politics of do and die. It's not my business. I don't make comments. You don't see me around. So I promote this country because I believe Nigeria is great and greater than most countries that which we go. In fact, you go to other countries in Africa or outside the world, everybody is interested in Nigeria. Everybody is interested, but is Nigeria interested in Nigeria? And Nigeria is interested, really. Is the government interested? You understand? No, Musa, these are the things we need to look at. The government, now we have a new government. How far has it shown interest that we can really use our culture to unify our country? To diversity. The president said, "Oh, we believe in diversity of this country." But it's not just a question of political slogan. We need to be realistic about it by empowering government institutions that are in charge of culture. To change their perception. Our Jews are gone. Let me use that word. Our Jews are gone. Redemption. Except we intervene now. Except to intervene now, Jews are gone. They don't dress. In fact, they're not interested in dressing the way we dress. They don't talk the way we talk. You know, they don't observe anything. They're not conscious of their environment. All they think about is, oh, what is happening in the US, in America, all those blah blah blah, blah. That's all they are interested. They are not interested even in dressing as Nigerian. For a long time, Musa, I've not worn shirt except yesterday. I just decided, in fact, it's like this your shirt that you're wearing. I just look. I just look for one. You know, I just look for one. And when I went out, I went to my friends who are doing Salah. You know, I wanted to go and check them out. And they were surprised to see me on the shirt. I said, "Why? What's happening now? Why?" I said, "Well, I just wanted to see if, maybe because I dropped my dressing, whether it make an impact." And it does make an impact because people already identify me with dressing as a Nigerian. You know, that's why you see me today. I can dress as an Akwabamite. I can dress as a Kano man, a Kanuri man. You know what I'm saying? I can dress as anything. That's the way it is. Because everywhere I go, if I want to travel outside the country, I take all my native wears along. You know, I don't dress, I'm not dressed like, even though it's cold, I'll just cover myself properly. And it's beautiful. You see people asking you to sign autograph for them. You see people trying to take pictures with you because they know you're authentic, you're original. Do you understand? The Chinese in their own place, they won't go and wear shirts now. They will have their Chinese wear they put on and all those things. So it is high time. Now we have a new government. It's like culture local. The president said local. It is now culture local because it's only culture, that we can use to brand our destination. We can use only culture that we can use our culture arts, our language, our people that we can use to change the orientation of our people. And that is what the white man wants to see. The white man don't want to come here and come and see and come and wear suit. He's not interested. You want to look at your unique African wear. You want to go to the hut to sleep. He doesn't want to go to 5-star. There's 5-star in his home state. He wants to go and live with people, commoners in the villages. He You want to have a boat ride and see a water ecosystem, how beautiful our nature can be. You want to get into the forest. Everybody talk about, you see, we can use this destination marketing, our culture, to in fact arrest insecurity in the country. The insecurity that is troubling, we can use our culture to address it. But has government paid attention? Are they interested? Or are we just going to have another nomenclature by name? And at the end of the day, there's no impact. Believe me, what I saw in Ojidoba and what I know about cultural festivals around Nigeria, our young persons are no longer with us. And it's high time that we use films. Nollywood can bring them in, let them shoot most of their films. We're not saying they shouldn't shoot their love films, but take it outside the studio. Go to villages, identify those villages, and this is where we shot this film. And you see people trooping there. You can see people trooping there for holidays. They can go to that film site. They can go to the studio, that outside studio too. They can relate. Instead of staying in the town, you run through the streets in the town and you're making film. There's no way. And it's big business, my brother, that we can make. And Nigerians are willing. If the young ones, I still believe we can redeem them if we start early. And all hands must be on deck. So Nollywood, believe me, they are missing a lot when it comes to documentary destination marketing. It's an area to which, if they pay attention, it's not only about the history of British partition of Africa or Nigeria, but also about how, for instance, what in Kano, how did they live? How did the kings live? How did they have to cope? These are history people want to know. In the hilly areas, how do people come in? How do people live? How do they sleep? How do they eat? How do they survive? What is even the knowledge ecosystem at that time? There are schools. People believe that schools are just these modern ones. There have been schools of ages. There have been schools, ages, that people come in the evening, they teach people, they teach young ones, maybe under the moonlight stories. They can teach them a lot of things about the people. But honestly, Musa, everybody just chasing what is available. The things that are unavailable that are available, nobody is chasing them. And there are many that we can capture, if we are serious as a nation.
So in this case, we have a lot of influence of outside cinema, foreign cinema, and you feel like from your last outing, most of this generation, our generation is not with the popular Nigerians. Your generation, we are not thinking. So with the help of Nigerian cinema, the Nollywood, how could we be able to solve this problem?
It's in the same thing we are talking about. Do you understand? You see, that is why you see, when you allow a nation or people to flounder in terms of their thought process, that's why you see China. I will continue to use China. They kept hold of their people through culture. They said the one man came with their spoon. They said now everybody is using Chinese stick to eat. They kept on to it. They held on to it. And it became part of their ecosystem. They're even exporting it. You go to the US today, you go to most of the Chinese restaurants, you have to use their silver spoon or fork to eat. So, right there, we need to begin to change our perceptions and orientation. Talking to our young people through films, through flicks. But you go to our cinemas today, most of our cinemas are making money. When you say them, they say, they made so much money. Is it from Nigerian films? Possibly no. These are foreign films. And of course, they'll come with foreign influence. They come with immorality and all those things. There's some, like in my home, I need to watch what my children, I keep an eye on what they watch. Except maybe I'm not out, but they know that there are certain things they can't watch at home. So no matter that they have everything that I needed to have here, but the truth is that we needed to change that you can learn from. Even the music that you listen to is very important. Because even in those films, music plays critical roles. Okay, you need to blend a destination with a particular music noted with that area, a particular song noted with that area. So all of them, look at what South Africans did. Through films also, the Mandela films and all those, they were able to showcase the Zulu nation. They were able to showcase destinations in their place. They were able to change it, even through their music. Even though they too are beginning to lose it today. They too are beginning to lose it because They are no longer paying attention to their culture, just like Nigeria has done. But the truth is that those who are wise, the Japanese, the Asians, the Indians, every one of them, you see them, they hold on to their language and all. So the only thing is for us to go back and bring in the Nigerian films back to cinema. Remember anyway, I don't know whether I remember the late Ogun days. They used to do, that's road theater. They go from, sometimes they come to National Theater, they can go to Mushin and, it's open theater. We need to come back to open theater. We need to bring people together in the evening. It creates community feeling. People will know who is who. So in the evening you gather and let it be, the theater will be about our people. What my friend at National Troupe of Nigeria, for instance, Ahmed is trying to do is also critical. You understand? Because dance is today, it's a lot of money. Okay, and everybody, and something with Nigeria is the diversity of our songs and dance. Musa is $1 billion economy. But
for sure, we create agenda in music.
Yeah. So these are some of those. So we need to go back. I think this government have the opportunity to correct a lot of wrongs in the past. Honestly, I say, look, everybody, let us come to the table. If you are doing film, of course, the whole idea is geared towards marketing Nigeria. If you are talking about or dances, it's all about marketing Nigeria. It's all tourism about Nigeria. If you are also into fashion and it has to do with what we wear, little fabrics and all those things, like the waving industry. Before, all these are waved locally. But today, go and check out. I'm sure it's all of them come from China. Do you understand? And we are losing knowledge as we go. We lose the knowledge and ecosystem as we go. Because we don't have anything to pass to the generation coming behind us. So that's just it. So a lot is surmountable, but plenty that we need to really look at. So Nollywood has a lot to do. They have tried, but I tell you, they are bleeding. Nollywood is bleeding now. Okay, it's bleeding because a lot of things. Nigerians are beginning to, a lot of people that know about Nigeria. Like I said, I was in Namibia recently. Most of the young persons, they ask me, sir, do you know Mr. Ibu? Someone asked me, sir, do you know Banana Island? So how did they get to know Banana Island? Because some films were shot there. Okay? They just said, do you know Banana Island? I want to go there. That's where I want to live. That's not Namibia. They were telling me they want to go and live at Banana Island. Wow. So these are the value chain. Well, is it sustainable? How many of those things do we have? It's not just come to the set and then laugh and talk nonsense and talk about love. Love, and the love self is not working. There's so much divorces in Nigeria today. People are divorcing themselves every second. So it's not impactful. Sure. When you are doing love, that it has no attachment to our values, to our marriage values. You understand? I mean, then it won't work. You do love films because you want to just sell and look like white man. Okay? In my place where I come from, you dare not, even if the man slap you 30 times, you can go and report to your parents. They will tell you, go back, we are coming tomorrow. They will go back to that place and settle the matter. They will not tell their daughter or son, they don't marry again. But now, once you just tell you, where are you coming from? They just run to their mother. Their parents will say, stay. Stay here. These are things you see in the films. And it's not helping. It's not helping the morality, the moral base, and sensitivity of this nation. It's not helpful at all.
So, as you are speaking about bad influence, one of our guests, viewers, Ekelem, is talking about how do we change the bad influence of Nollywood. Example are jails made of wood, idle kings lording it over their subject, helplessness as seen in the breadwinners dying and unable to pay bills, as well as cultism. They tell wrong stories and do not stir up the young ones to be adventurous in positive ways. They tell people in diaspora wrong stories of Africa. Yeah, he is trying. Yeah, I think maybe I don't know if you could say something, but we are talking about bad influence of these foreign cinemas in Nigeria, with Nigerian government and society not being so alerted. Because I'm talking to a friend, like now Nigerians are watching Korean cinema so desperately, and they are learning so much about, and they're picking it up into our society. which is not forthcoming because we need to share it. But I don't know if you could shed some light on how best we could attend to these problems with Nollywood.
Most of these problems are really generic. First, as a businessman, you want to go into business. I don't think most of them go into it for moral sake. They go into it because they want to make money. So the moral aspect of it or influence comes last on the checklist or the value chain. It comes last. What are the impact on the young persons? Comes last. What am I doing with this? What do I want to project? Comes last. All you see come first before Nigerian investors in Nollywood is money, profit. Okay? So since the young persons, that's also what they want to see because they produce what people want. Okay? You don't go there and shoot a film that people don't like. Okay, let me give you a little bit about the Gang of Lagos. The Gang of Lagos was shot, before, those of us who grew up in Lagos, we know that Ayo wasn't really, used as a decent means of communication or entertainment. You see them, they fight and all those things. Sometimes they are bloodshed after the festival and all those things. And I think these guys went and researched in those areas. Possibly they should have been more careful because Ayo have been transformed over time. It has been made into a product, a marketable product. It has been turned into a storyline, a narrative about how ancestral spirits can also live with those who are living, and all things. So the narrative about Ayo has really changed over time. So when they came with the title Gang of Lagos, of course, the Lagosians, they reacted. Said, no, this is not the way we are and all those things. It's a wrong conception about us and about what Ayo stands for. Well, it is not here. I think they went to court. I don't know whether the case is still in court. I've been sorted out of court. So I'll be very careful with the comments I make. But the truth of the matter here is that there should have been, like I said, when you want to do short films, there should have been a kind of relationship with the community, with the people who possibly are the ones behind your festival. And then you can marry, there's the way you marry the narratives that thing can be shown all over the world, and Europeans and Nigerians, even young persons in Nigeria, most of them don't know about Ayo. Most young persons don't know about Ayo. Before, when we were very young, in the 70s, if you say Ayo, we run away. But now I can walk through past Ayo because I know the guy is not, quote unquote, it's not violent. Okay? So, those things change. It's like the Mahu Festival in the East. You see this big, gigantic, masquerade. Who dare you to stand? You run. But there's a way for the sake of tourism and for the sake of marketing, we can talk to those who are behind it to change those narratives so that they don't become violent. Because in those old days, I know that the masquerade, they go to a place, all of them go and fight. They want to have, the champion, who will come out champion. And of course, there are a lot of developing things that are involved. But as we graduate, there's a lot of things we should keep away from our children that people don't want to see, like slaughtering of animals, or not to before a masquerade can come out and things like that. So those things need to be hidden. Every nation has its own history. Even the Chinese, they have their other side. You go to every country, they have their own, but what they are now showcasing is the good side. Even the bad side, they are turning it around, because they know it's the good things that sell. Bad news don't sell anymore. It's only in Nigeria that bad things still selling. Okay? In Europe, everywhere, good things is what sell. That's why you see there are a lot of shootings in America. You don't hear it anywhere. People still go to US. But just one small gunshot here, everybody will avoid coming to Lagos. Okay? Or one gunshot in Kaduna, everybody will stop. Yeah, because Nigeria, we still thrive in bad news, still make news to us. But to the white man, they think those things is not important. It's not important to anyone. It's not that it's not important, but they check it. They know that it can influence their society wrongly, as the case may be. So everybody just wants to put forward his best foot, your best narrative, your best tradition, your best culture, your things, your food, your dresses. They want to put it forward. So, and we putting it forward, we also will touch our young persons who are so-called, they are so Eurocentric today. But a lot of Nigerians who dress as if they've not been to the airport, but they dress and speak as if they've gone to Europe. I think those are influence of cinema. The kind of films they want. Okay? So why don't we have, look at, and that's why I must commend DSTV. We have now Yoruba Flix. on DSTV, we have Igbo flicks, we have Hausa flicks, you know, we have films and all those things. But still not enough. That's just DSTV, just one entity. What about our TV station? Have Arise ever broadcast in Yoruba language? Have Arise ever gone to Enugu to broadcast in Igbo, you know, or in your language? Has NTA done so? Has NTA, you know, presented news, you know, in Kano? So by the time they will start doing all these things, going back to who we are, a young person will begin to learn. They will say, oh, ask their daddy, what's that man saying? Even though maybe he's speaking in Hausa, you can ask Musa, daddy, what's that man saying? He's broadcasting from Kano, you know, at the MS Palace. What is he saying? Then you can explain. From there, you begin to pick the language, and from picking it, you begin to speak. You will not mix with friends. But it goes to school. Most of the schools we have, there's no cultural club until recently, when the National Orientation Agency, National Institute for Cultural Orientation, they went around now opening clubs, you know, cultural clubs all over and the children are excited. In fact, I remember I brought some of the students, their cultural club, to the studio recently, about last year, and they came there. They were able to sing in Nigerian language, you know, and all those things. They talked about the artistic work and all the things. There are ways we can take this message back to our children. And if we're going to have good leaders tomorrow, not leaders that when they're on holiday run to Europe, just like our fathers are doing. Small headache, they run to Europe. Air pain, they run to Europe. Holiday, they run to go to the airport. We are paying over 2.something million, 4 million to travel, and the money people are sitting, the aircraft are full. Okay? Meanwhile, we have better places in this country if you want to go and rest. The security issue is just minor thing, and I think it's a state matter. Believe me, like most military people will tell you, you know, like most military people will tell you, the truth of the matter is that this security will stop the day our security agencies are up and doing. You know, right now they're just playing game with it, and that also affects even Nollywood that want to go and do. They want to go and shoot outside. They don't do outside shootings, or they want to go and film outside because they need to protect themselves. They need to protect themselves. You know, so it's important that we need to restore peace, and our culture can restore peace to this country. Our diversity is just what we need. That diversity, somebody just coordinate you together. Not somebody will come and be speaking grammar. How can you say you are in charge of culture, or you go and appoint somebody who's culture? You only dress, so maybe they dress in the way we dress, but we'll be speaking English. I don't believe. Let somebody interpret to people. Okay, maybe the president. Let you know, Nigeria, our language is part of it. Maybe today you address the nation, maybe in English. Somebody should interpret us in Yoruba, in Hausa, Igbo, and all that other tongues that we have. 300 and something tongues that we have in this nation. You don't find that anywhere. You know, it's over 300 tongues. Some yet on, you know, I was in Justice Center. I went to one Bible college, or it's an institute, and I found out that they were printing the Bible in some languages I never had, and they are Nigerian languages in church that I've not had. And when there's a language, that means there's a people, and when there's a people, there's a culture. You know, so it's something we need to look at, Musa.
Yes, exactly. I think always time is not that a friend when it comes to talking of having a conversation like this.
Exactly, exactly. I can see the time. I can see we are running on it. But honestly, on the last take, Musa, you should do more of this. You should do more of this, not only on films. Look at critical areas of the sector. Now that we have a new government, even if the government is around, we would be part of the whole ecosystem. Let us go out there. Nigerians need to come out. We are not who we used to be. Nigeria used to go out. You know, we need to stay out. But now everybody stays in the beer parlor or in your room. You know, and all those things. So we're not really outgoing anymore as used to be. And I think that's one of the problems that we have.
Sure. So at the last note, before we bring our senior colleague, Mr. Tumba Michael, and the super lady, Susan. So what can you say? Can you comment on the new appointment of special advisor to the president on the culture and entertainment, Mrs. Hannatu Musawa? I mean, can you say about what the expectancy the industry should be willing to see from her before the appointment of the new minister?
I think Musa, I think, let me just tell you this. The young lady has not said it's all that appointment. She has not made a statement. That means she's not interested. Okay, she knows that that's not her fault because we don't know her. You know, she's a Nigerian beautiful lady. I watch her on TV when she speaks for APC. Really nice, a lawyer and all those things. But believe me, after 2 weeks of appointment, she has not come out to say this was what means she's not interested. And believe me, we don't want that. Don't force people into areas to which they are not competent. This government say we want to run a government of competence. Maybe you bring Susan, people like that, you know, bring people who are on the field, who knows this business. Bring them to advise. They may not even collect money from government. Okay, what we want is a better society, our country. I see what other countries are doing. So let us start appointing people because they have political allegiance. That era should go.
Okay, so thank you very much, sir, for the world time.
Thank you.
I think if Susan is ready, we should bring her. Okay.
Good evening.
Okay, good evening, Susan. You're welcome to the Nollywood Dealmakers. We are happy to have you. Can we see you on camera?
Unfortunately, I didn't know you were going to put me on stage, so I'm just straight from the kitchen, so I'm sweating and everything. So I just from the kitchen now. I just rushed to join in. That's why I'm not putting up my camera, but it's fine. I didn't know you were going to. I thought I was going to sneak in and just be quiet and not in. If you notice, that was why I did not put my full name. I just put Susan. I didn't know you would still catch me.
Believe me.
To Mr. Frank Meke is somebody that is well seasoned in the industry. And I've been listening and enjoying myself and learning a lot. And I cannot but agree with everything he has said. I think it's a responsibility of everybody. All hands must be on deck for reorientation. We all have to join hands and go into massive reorientation of the young generations. So Hollywood is also a very pivotal point. They are in a pivotal position to do this reorientation, and they need to start getting their acts right. I mean, they are just one-sided in their movies, like somebody commented earlier. They just talked about, like you said, when you go to other African countries, they love Nigerian movies. Oh, they will tell you it's about juju, it's about
juju.
It's about juju. It's always about money. It's always about trying to undo the other person, a wicked stepmother. And I'm like, God, Nigerians are much more than this. So the reorientation, Hollywood needs a lot of work to do. Nollywood needs a lot of work in terms of this reorientation. So they also have to join us. Culture is doing very well in the person of Otumba Rishewe and my brother in Nico. They are doing their best to bring about this reorientation, to make people understand that our culture is our power. Our culture is our identity. We don't need to be ashamed of it. Mr. Frank said, in recent years now, interestingly, I'm not much of a fan of Nollywood, but once in a while when I'm bored or when I'm in an hotel room in which that's the only channel that is there, it's all about love, 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 love. And I'm wondering, they're not even really portraying the love story the way it's supposed to be, because divorce is on the increase in our society, which was not heard of before now. So it's a work all of us has to deliberately commit to. The media journalists, Nollywood, the travel agents, the hoteliers, all hands has to be on deck to portray the right, to tell the right story about Nigeria. No one can tell our story better than us. And to also comment on the special advisor, like Mr. Frank said, we are waiting. She's a woman like me, and I'm a big supporter of women, but before I can know whether I'm supporting her or not, we want to hear her, just like Mr. Frank have said. She's been appointed 2 weeks now. Funny enough, we don't know her. When I heard about their problem, I said, who is this? I called Mr. Frank, please, who is this? And it was like, we don't know her. Nobody knows her in the industry. Why would you appoint somebody that the industry doesn't even know as your special advisor to advise you about the industry when we don't even know her? And we don't even know how well she knows the industry. So what is the advice she will be giving? So it's really a concern for us in the industry. I mean, if the government says they want to make a difference, then they really need to go for the experts, people that know their onions. Mr. Frank just said, 2 weeks now since our appointment, we've not heard anything. So we are waiting. Let's not judge her here. Let's still give her benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's just she's a slow starter. Maybe by the time she starts, we will know what she's made up. But until she starts talking, before we will know what she's made of, being somebody that we don't even have a clue, we don't know her from anywhere. It's almost as if she just dropped from the moon. Yeah, the industry might be very big, but we know ourselves. I mean, Mr. Frank, we all know ourselves. People that are contributing to the industry, we know them. They are not hidden, they are there everywhere. We can identify them. But this we don't know. Maybe she's a hidden treasure, we don't know, but we are waiting to hear her talk. By the time maybe she starts talking, we will know whether she's a round peg in a round hole or another mistake.
So thank you very much, Suzanne. But I'd love to hear about your partnership with the Kano State Emirates, the Kano Emirate Council.
Okay. That was just a gift from God. You know, the impression they've had about my northern brothers and sisters, when you get to know them, is not what people say. They are the most nicest people that I've met in the course of this my work. Lovely, nice. Once you are, they love honest people. That's one thing with them. I noticed there are people that love honest people. They love straightforward people, irrespective. At least they have shown to me they do not look down on women. Neither do they disrespect women. Each time I go there, the utmost respect I receive is amazing. You won't believe the level of respect that I get. And I remember, I don't know, Mr. Frank, if you can still remember. I remember the very first time went to see His Highness. You know, initially I didn't know what to expect. I was somehow very unlike me, a bit frantic, fidgeting. Oh, should I stand up? Should I kneel down? Should I? I didn't know what to expect. A lot of
I
my
mean,
Muslim
the
colleagues,
ethics, the normal cultural
oh
values of
yes,
how
they gave me
people, how they
different
greet, how
advice.
they do things.
Exactly. People gave me different advice, so it was not becoming very confusing. So when they ushered us in, they told us to sit down, and we all sat down. So I now have to ask when I'm responding to His Royal Highness, should I stand? Should I sit? What should I do? And all that. And they were like,
And uh, and
whatever I
Susan,
want to do.
Susan, if where we have a movie talking about Kano State Emirate, the cultural values of Kano, I think you may get it easy. You just have to go look for the movie, watch it, and know how to present yourself in the presence of His
Oh
Highness.
yes. But you know, interestingly, it's like the His Royal Highness noticed it, and he was like, Susan, can you relax? Please calm down. And I just started laughing. I just busted out laughing, and it just shows the kind of person he is. He made me comfortable in his presence. Despite all the protocols they had around, he noticed I was a bit, I mean, frantic, and he had to he muttered a joke. He made a joke and we all laughed, and that was it. The
Ah, wow.
uneasiness just flew out of the window, and he was like, I should calm down and be myself. And that was the icebreaker, and it has been like that with His Royal Highness. I respect the access that I have for him. I have direct access to him, and that doesn't come ordinary. I cherish it, I respect it, and I do not abuse it. So such relationship, I say, is a gift from God, and that relationship has bettered the recognition of Nanta in the Kano Emirates. Remember when we did our AGM, they hosted Nanta with a Doba. One of the tour guides, the people at the Emirates, at the palace, they kept whispering and speaking in Hausa, and I really don't understand. So I asked my colleague, what are they saying? Because I noticed they were just talking. And my colleague said, they are deliberating among themselves that who are these people that the emir allowed for a Durban to be done for them. That Durban is not done for ordinary people. Durban is hosted for royalties. And the last time they hosted a private Durban was from when Prince Charles came to the palace. So they were just like, who are these people? Who are these people? Who is this woman? Where did she come from that they are hosting us in a private Durban? So that is an honor that I will never forget. And I'm grateful to God for making it happen. I'm sorry. I don't know if you are hearing me. I can't hear you again. I think the volume just went up from my side.
Okay. Okay, Susan, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm saying part of the partnership then is organizing a specific DABA, special DABA, and also you packaging that DABA to the world, and also a content creation that may be documentaries and such kind of short movies that will lead to promotion of the world destination. Where are we, and especially with the content and documentaries?
Oh yes, we partook in the world travel markets. Yeah, last year in London, we had a stand, and that was a very good place to showcase the package of the Durban. You know, one of the international standard for any show in such magnitude is that whatever you showcase must be an original to you. So, and we were wondering, how do we make this original? We now had to, what we now did is the mini Doba that was organized for us. We picked the videos together, and we created a content from that mini Doba. And of course, it's an original content because it's our own. It wasn't copied from anywhere. So we created a content and a short video on that mini Doba experience that we had as Nanta, and the pictures that were taken. Those are the things that we formed the content that we use in exhibiting in London. Because one of the conditions of exhibiting in short in WTM London is that everything you bring, whether publications, videos, and all that, must be original, must be your own. And you see how God does things. God knew we're going to go for that event, and He gave us that opportunity for a mini Doba to be hosted for us. So it made us to be able to create our own original content. So we were not stranded. We had the opportunity to display that. I will be there again this year. And of course, we are gathering more content. And of course, Nanta has been very busy. We've been very, very busy. You can ask Mr. Frank. So all these things we've been involved in, it's original to us. It's not a copycat. Neither is it a copyright. So we're going to use it again to develop some other content that we're going to display in this year's show happening in November in London too as well.
So thank you, Madam Susan. And I do believe with this conversation and with the sermon we got from our pioneers, Mr. Frank, Nanta and Nanta and the Nollywood, we got a synergy and a kind of partnership. I know you just have an insight now, and we are expecting to hear a big story that Nanta partner Nollywood.
That would be interesting, Mr. Frank. What do you think? That would be an interesting one. But I'm looking forward to it, honestly. At least to tell the story of Nanta. If we can do that partnership so that we can have Nollywood tell the story of Nanta. We've come a long way, And since I came on board, it's been very interesting, full of drama, honestly. I mean, the story of my presidency from 2020 till now, if I sit down with any Nollywood, I think we can make a movie out of it. Mr. Frank, what do you think?
Oh, Mr. Frank, say something, please. Off your mic. On your mic, I mean.
Okay, it's on now. As usual, Susan will always nail it on the head as it is. We just expect that there should be collaboration. Musa, all of us should put hands on the club. Not like what the president. I think to be fair to the president, I think he is in a fast track to get things done. But if he's not careful, you appoint an advisor on culture and entertainment who is not part of the ecosystem. So I wonder, like Susan said, what will this woman be advising the president? Do you understand? It's very important. Let us not be sentimental or emotional about appointments. Let us not be political about appointments. Let us be competent. Let's be competent driven, like he said. And I'm holding the president to that when it comes to this industry. Even as a minister or as a DG, if they are not competent, if they are not proving competent, what about proving competence over the years? You may not like the man, they have been in ethics, they have been in culture. In fact, today, why even government is saying they want to remove the feeding bottle from SCAC, it's because what they have seen him done. He has said, look, culture is the next oil. But he's just at his preparatory stage. We just discovered, like when you discover oil, okay, look at the oil ecosystem that we're saying about, the petroleum. Thousands of millions were pumped, in discoveries, in trying to refine and all those. We have not done that for culture. And suddenly you want to remove the feeding bottle. I mean, that for me, it's like you don't understand. Everything is not about money. Everything is not about money. Culture should not be something we focus on money. It's something we have to look at the values. Look at our system. Our children have just gone. In fact, they are on the devil laps. And we need to use culture to tell. Even our political class. Okay, there are no more pretense about who we are. You understand? So we need to talk to ourselves. Because it's easy for us to relate culturally. You go back to the Senate president was in Akwa Ibom recently. When these people came to visit him, they were not talking grammar now. They went back to the cultural way. You understand? To understand themselves, to speak about the language and future of the people. And I think those are critical. So everything about Nigeria should be culture.
So I think as
just like the Chinese have done.
I think as Susan's mentioned, we need to tell our own story, and especially maybe one day we'll maybe expect to see a story of how she were able to be the president of Nanta, and as well there are a lot of stories. A colleague, we are discussing that in Nigeria we don't matter telling our story. Okay, if you ask many Nigerians, is there NIA in Nigeria? I mean, Nigeria Intelligence Agency. People would just be surprised. What is NIA? But anybody in Nigeria, especially the youthful Nigeria, know about FBI, know about CIA, know about M16, know about all this intelligence agency through what? Movies. And there are a lot of political sagas in Nigeria that need to be covered, aside from our way of life, the way we negotiate, the way we do things. And our marketplace.
I give you an example. Last year, I give you an example. Last year at NAFES, Eko NAFES, that's the National Festival for Arts and Culture held in Lagos. Otumba was able to bring in the military, the security, the Navy, the Army, because they have their softer side. They have their cultural side because they are Nigerians, even though they are wearing uniform. But something stopped me. Okay, but when I went to one of the stands, I was asking some questions. I mean, this guy just become militaristic. Do you understand? And I wonder, okay, maybe this is just the first time they are meeting civilians. We just talked about things, the Mossad, because I read a lot about security in general. I like films that have to do with security. Or maybe if I'm not a journalist, I would have been, I would have been a secret service person, because I like the mystery of solving, strange issues. And the Mossad the CIA, all of them. We get to hear about them through films. Even today, if you watch most of the foreign films, it's still about their security agencies. But yeah, when you approach any security agent in Nigeria, it's like, oh, if you and that's why I said we need to everyone, even the police are very close to the people. Okay, they are not so fully collateralized, and that's some of the problems where there's some kind of disconnect. There's a disconnect because it cannot be properly collateralized, so the people can confidently come and give them information, and they are safe. Okay, so we need to really culture. I hope I'm making sense. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So
yeah,
if you can watch if you watch what CIA and everything, you are seeing them on TV. You see how they solve riddles and murders and all kind of things, even has to relate with state issues.
And that gives you a sense of security when you visit them. They are telling you, oh, when you come to America, you are safe.
In your mind, even when it is also in your mind, because most of them are make believe, really. But in your mind, you believe if these people can do this through their thing, that means I'm safe where I am. I'm safe in Israel. I'm safe in Europe because that have been portrayed through documentary. I think the FCC was warning Nollywood producers that they should not wear EFCC bands anymore. Blah 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 blah. And I think that's not necessary. What they ought to have done is to write them, and engage them, call them. Okay, we know that we are trying to portray how we solve fraud and everything in the system, how we arrest people. But you don't do that. This is what you should do. You come and get permission from us. That's how it's done abroad. So that's synergy. You understand? So everybody understand that I'm helping to do this job. But yeah, angels when they are not. And I mean, that's why we're getting a lot of things wrong. So everything about this country should be cultural. And until we do that, we should be speaking grammar.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for such an insightful view. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. Where is October? We have to. Okay. October. Oh, thank you very much, sir. You're welcome.
I greet all my organs in the house. Sorry, I'm on the road. I'm doing my 5-kilometer walk to keep myself alive. So bear with me as I pant. Well, I'm just going to slow down because, Mr. Frank, let me first say I've had a star crush on you for a long time. But tonight, I'll officially say it openly. So I hope you're arrested for using the word not gay. So they will say Michael Balogun as not gay. I genuinely love you with every single fiber of my soul. You are one man I've respected.
Thank you, my brother.
And the painful part was the day I was looking forward to sit down in your radio station to pour my heart out. Then I lost my girlfriend that month.
You come back now. You come back. We'll bring you back.
I have to back, brother. Everything you said from beginning of this conversation has been what I have had to discuss endlessly with Musa himself. That most of the things we're doing now is more like a fun fair. And it feels so sad that some of us have used everything in our being since I moved back from the UK in 2008. Everything I've done within this sector has been with my own penny. Not one dime has been given from any government quarters. I will say it's anywhere. Nobody has funded us. And we have been promoting this country with so much passion and our blood. We have lost colleagues. On this same journey, we've had people relocate. It's just a shame from everything you have said today, and things I have written about on my LinkedIn. You said something about live streaming. I have called Bethel in Mambila Plateau. I have told them, as of yesterday, I was still sending a pitch deck to a woman in the UK for grants and funding. A pitch deck on virtual reality, on live streaming. If we can live stream from the top of Obudu all over. You know how many people in diaspora. I have written on the movie, not Up North, on LinkedIn. I saw people that left Nigeria in their 20s, 30s, reminiscing, calling me, saying, Michael, just watching that film on Netflix brought this nostalgic feeling that I remember when I did my NYC in Bauchi. We went to Yankari. You see, until we understand that working in silos is not going to benefit anybody. My own work in tourism now is more of a legacy. It's more like a calling. I'm not doing it for money again. I am broke. I have not built a house. If I was selling outbound like the rest I've been doing for the last 10 years, I should have built a house in Banana Island. I sell Nigeria. And everything I've done in this tourism journey has been tactical, intentional. The day I chose this name, thought Nigeria, it wasn't thought to Ghana. You will never see me sell anything outside this country. So when we talk of the movie industry, the first tourist destination I visited in my life when I got into UK was Robin Hood's Castle in Northampton. Why? Because that was what we watch when we come back from school. NTH and at 5. That was this a myth or reality? It was until I got into UK, I knew that Robin Hood's Castle existed. That was the first person. The second place was the Stone Edge, because I've seen it in movies. It was a screensaver on our Microsoft window.
Sure.
So when we talk about entertainment, Nollywood, it's a shame, it's appalling, it's sad that we've not even used 1% of what we have in this country. I wrote one time on my LinkedIn, we had over 74,000 views. My 5 favorite movies: Tears of the Sun, Bruce Willis, Storyline, Nigeria, during Abacha's time. They didn't shoot one scene in Nigeria. Captain America, Civil War, Lagos State, it was shot in Miami. They made it look like Lagos with Lagos Danfo. Black Panther, Storyline, Rescuing of Chibok Girls. They didn't shoot anything in Nigeria. Which other movie? And we have serious blockbuster movies that were shot with Nigerian theme, and none were shot close to our borders. When people started going to Croatia, what cost it? A movie, Game of Thrones season 5, in Dubrovnik or whatever they call the place, those medieval castles. I wrote an article on my link Instagram. It's still there. That we have a castle in Nigeria, 45 minutes outside Kaduna Kasha district, Kajuru Castle. Yeah, people say, am I crazy? People that lived in Kaduna all their lives were saying, Michael, did you double check? Did you fact check before you wrote this kind of thing? And these images you are seeing is in Nigeria. Until I started showing them videos of Wande Cole, Mayoko, Sakodi. You know, it is a shame that it got to a point the government of Croatia were begging cruise ships to stop coming to their shores because it's a small country. They were having millions of tourists because everybody wanted to go into that Croatia, to the Dubrovnik, to go and see those medieval castles for Game of Thrones. So why would we not use what we have? There are things I have sat down with people, they will show a place and the person will be like, I know this shop in Switzerland, I've drank a coffee here before. Papa, look at what you are saying. The SSA to the new government. Nobody knows. I don't even know this woman. Why would we keep doing politics, putting people with no interest to just pay them back because of their support to the government? It is a shame. It is a shame. We should work together and promote Nigeria, not because of sentiment, and putting somebody that doesn't even feel happy that she's in that position. So many times I've told tour operators, I don't sell tours alone. I sell souvenirs. I work with movie producers. The people looking for locations to work. Some will tell you they have a brief. They are looking for a building in this form in South. Oh, let's go to Djibouti. Let's go to Abeokuta. They have this kind of Asian buildings there. I had one company from South Africa. They do production adverts. I think Wheel of Africa or something. From South Africa, they send their agents to look for locations to shoot. The last one I got them was at Salt Beach. They paid 4 million to shoot there. So how would a company in South Africa come to look for a location in Nigeria? It's just not right. And all this is because there's no collaboration, there's no synergy within the creative industry. I was telling someone, if Kelechi Amadi can take a camera to Idori Hills, imagine what it means if they are collaborated with a tourism company. It is a shame that most of these things that we don't promote are the stories that they are being told by foreigners. There's this American guy, you would probably have heard of him, Chris the Authentic, that's been going everywhere. And thank God, Musa, you are here. You're the one that did the guy's logistics in the north. This guy has been everywhere in Nigeria. The day we met, and I said, please, I tried to discourage him. Going to the north is not advisable at this time. He said, Michael, if they kidnap me, my country will come for me. I felt ashamed because I can't say the same thing, that they'll come for me. Even Nantop won't come for me. They kidnap you. But this guy went to the north. And I told him, I said, have you reached out to any Nigerian government? He said, yes. He tried reaching out to the tourism board. And nobody replied him. This is the guy that did a post in Ekiti, in Arita Waterfall. And I reshared the post on LinkedIn. That's the highest view I've had on LinkedIn. Over 176,000 views. I reached out to people in Ekiti State. Why don't you use this American as an ambassador promoting tourism in Ekiti State? Nobody did anything with it. Look at Davido's new concert in DC. See how he came out on stage. He used the Lekki Link Bridge image to come out on stage for his concert. That is what we are saying. If the likes of Nollywood, the creative industry, we all come together and do things together, it will go far. They say you can go far alone, but when you go together, you go very far. But this mindset of everybody wants to stand alone, I want to be the CEO, I want to be the chairman, and I want to be the champion of this thing, makes us lose a lot of assets, traction. So for me, until some of these people in government understand the business behind all these things, they won't put the wrong set of people to manage those offices. It won't be about compensating the wrong people, putting a farmer to head the tourism board. It's just absurd. So for me, I'll say this: Nigeria has so much to offer. When we went to Uganda recently, half of the people there, the music they have on their phones, were Nigerian music. All the nightlife they took us in Uganda, it was Nigerian songs. Oyinbo woman that came from Italy, New Aki and Popo. A lot of these people learned so many things about Nigeria from our movie. But these movie industry people, you can't even have a meeting with them because they feel they are all celebrities, they are rich, they don't need to hear from you. James Bond movie is almost like a brand. They've shot James Bond in everywhere, in Rome, in Morocco, in Tunisia, in this place. And it is a brand. The new Fast and Furious, they did their premiere at the Coliseum. And that is how people travel to such countries because, I've seen this celebrity go to this place. I knew how many places I visited in London because of movies I've watched. This Julia Roberts movie that she had, she was dating Hugh Grant in Portobello. I had to go visit that place. That place exists. For crying out loud. So why can't we use Nollywood to even drive tourism? To say, let's do a romantic movie. I've seen a movie they did way back, a romantic movie, and it was the Nollywood, the Igbo version. That did a movie inside a Kiki, Ikogosi. And the title of the movie is called Ikogosi. Beautiful romantic movie. I think one of these guys, Ike, something, Ogona was there. Beautiful movie. Why can't we do an adventurous movie on the hills of Obudu? Must they always be juju? So for me, if the likes of Chief Frank to even speak. We are a voice in this country now, not even in this industry. People will listen. But until we stop this politics and it's getting toxic, even in our association, you can't freely talk. I have sat down with the commissioner of tourism in Lagos State. I have said, let's do this, but nobody answers. They just believe tourism is all about jamboree, carnivals, and concerts. And people make money and share money, and the rest of us in the trenches keep promoting Nigeria for free. It is not done. Look around us. 80% of our colleagues, my own friends personally, have relocated. I was supposed to be doing a project with the project manager in Lekki Conservation, and he said, "Balo, sorry, I didn't tell you. I've been located. I'm in Canada."
Japa.
John Aksu, General Manager, Cross River State Tourism. He's in London. He works with HSBC. At the end of the day, when everybody that could promote this country out of frustration have left, is it this same set of people that have no interest in the country that will promote the country? So I think there's so much for us to do as a country, as a people. It is sad that some people learn so much about Nigeria from Netflix, watching Nigerian movies. Now it's now entertainment. I was telling someone the big Afrochella in Ghana is owned by Nigerian brand. And you know how many people get on a plane from all over the world for that event in Ghana. And it's owned by Nigeria. So at the end of the day, most of our problem is even patriotism. We will rather put money to celebrate the Western movies. When the cast and crew of Black Panther came to do their premiere in Lagos, everybody went crazy. We wanted to associate with them. Have we gone to do any premiere like that anywhere? It's not.
No. Even their memorabilia get exalted.
We have destinations in Nigeria. We have destinations in Nigeria. I remember when COVID came, when their eyes started opening, Two-Face started doing videos in Ekpe Resort. The likes of P Square did a video shoot at Lamango Beach. People thought it was in abroad. So then I used to think, why would you go to South Africa to go and shoot a movie, a video, a video shoot? They are dancing with their legs. You employ choreographers over there. You pay for permits to use the place. You pay for directors to come. You know, taking our foreign direct investment out of the country. But now, have you not seen the things now? People are now using destinations, locations in Nigeria to shoot movies. But when you think of the cost of dollars and a flight ticket for your group of 20, you think about using your backyard to do it. So my joy will be the day we'll get to sit down with this different organization and association and let everybody work in synergy. One thing I learned when I went to Netherlands on a courtesy visit to the Nigerian ambassador to Netherlands last year, she said what has kept the Dutch people together has been a template they've used over the years called the Dutch Diamond Approach. You can Google it up. It's a beautiful template. Everybody comes to the table. The university professors, the knowledge base for data and research, the NGOs that have worked inside different communities, everybody come to the table to make it work. And that's why they stay together. The template is called the Dutch Diamond Approach. Everybody comes to the table. You need statistics, they'll get it from the university. You need data, they'll bring research analysts. Everybody contributes. So it's a whole ecosystem. So nobody gets to say, I did it. It's a joint and collective effort. I dropped my mic. Thank you very much. We should have more of conversations like this. And my Madam President, I salute you. It's an honor to have you on this broadcast. I yield. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Otumba Michael. I do appreciate having you on this on the Nollywood makers. And nevertheless, I Otumba talk about collaboration. Collaboration is everything. Collaboration, and partnerships. And again, with regard to this collaboration, Otumba have give me something like if you go through all the contents by the two Nigeria, the platform of the NTDC or NTDA, all their content or 90% of their content is user generated. And I began to ask myself, when these users don't produce this content, where these guys are going to get their content. So I feel like NTDA have to get back and see how they will collaborate with the Nollywood and the film industry to see how they will be producing documentaries, short promo documentaries, and all things about Nigeria. And maybe they should be producing content for the NTA, as Oga Frank have said. And I believe we can do that. So before we wrap up the show, I think uh, Oga Frank, you can say something and we can wrap up the show.
Mr. I just want to first commend you for this initiative. I also want to, um, commend Susan and Michael. And like what I try to do on Creative Nigeria is just what Michael has just talked about. I believe that every one of us have a stake in this industry, and we should come together to market it. Like you said, we keep on spending our money. Nobody is giving me anything. Yes, I have some few people who are supporting the initiative, but the point is that is it enough? We need to invest in it. We need to believe in it. We need to do the right thing. The right people should be sought out. All these pool dancing from some over the place. That's why you don't see me around most places. We just don't like. I don't know whether it's something with Nigeria. We don't just like everybody rising. I believe Michael rise. It's going to also benefit me. I believe Susan rises benefits me, just like Musa to rise will benefit me or benefit everyone. Even if I'm not benefiting directly, but at least it's helping the sector to move forward. And it's all about our country. We must leave legacy. We're not a nation where people are not interested in what happens to Nigeria. And that's sad. Nobody, we steal so much, we kill so much, we do all that kind of thing. Nobody's interested about Nigeria's survival. But we are interested about our individual survival. And even we are not getting it, even at the individual level. Because once you trust this brother, you now know how the other world see you. So I will leave this bit by just commending everyone that contributed this evening. And like Michael said, I think we should do this more often. We should get together, talk about our country, particularly now. This is the time for us to drive Nigeria properly. If this president, he went to Abeokuta and said, Emilio come. He was there recently 2 days ago, and he's saying the same thing. If these people didn't support me, I wouldn't have done it. So it is also the time for tourism to thrive in this. It's our local. It's about tourism in Nigeria now. And I'm serious about it. We're going to shout about it. We're going to insist about it. No matter who they appoint, we're going to hold everybody accountable. If you are not doing it well, please kindly leave this country for those who can manage it. Thank you very much, Musa. I appreciate you for all the.
So thank you, Mr. Frank Meke. And I see Susan is here. Maybe she has something. Madam Susan, maybe you want to say a few words before we wrap up.
Yes, it's also to also say thank you for the opportunity. Michael, is nice hearing from you again. And I understand where you're coming from. It's unfortunate. Frank just said it. A lot of people are not really interested in tourism development in Nigeria. When they talk about tourism, it's selfish reason and what can benefit them. It's not really for Nigeria. Because those that are really doing it for Nigeria, the likes of Michael. That's why you will not get any support. You sit down on the table with them, they hear your passion, they say, I beg, this will not be the kind one way we want. They want the ones that will put the money with them and not do anything. For you, Michael, they know if they invest in you, you will do something. That's not their interest. So it just shows that their interest is not really after the tourism of this nation. They understand the wealth in tourism, and they only pursue it when it will benefit them and put more money in their personal pocket. Tourism is one sector that one person cannot stand out and say is the dawn of the industry and everybody feeds under that one person. No, that can happen in oil and gas. It can happen in agriculture. It can happen in the finance world, but it does not happen in tourism, because the wealth of tourism is shared. Wealth of tourism can never, the way it is structured, can never put money only in one person's pockets. One person can never come out and say, I am the owner of tourism. This space is for me. Anybody that wants to do must. No, it doesn't happen in tourism. And that's why they are so laid back about tourism in Nigeria. Michael, is that they don't know what to do. They know what to do. They hear you. People like you, each time you go and tell them. People like Mr. Frank, myself, every other person that is making noise for tourism to thrive in Nigeria, they hear us and they know, but we are not speaking their language. That's why they will not sit on the table and give you money. But we are still hopeful, and we will continue to make the noise that someday, like Martin Luther King that had the dream, that we will also have somebody that truly, truly wants to use tourism to change things in Nigeria. I believe strongly. I am not jackbarring anywhere. I am here with you, Michael. I am here with you, Mr. Frank. Musa, we are here together. I don't know, but I can speak for myself. We are here. At
So,
least Frank knows.
but, Madam Susan, you are here because you are selling packages. You are the guys coordinating this for the young, beautiful Nigerians to Japa. I mean, as the president of
No,
NANTA, I
no, that's
believe
not my
you get a
mental
lot of
again.
money.
Any flyer you see for Japa, check out the person. It's not a NANTA member. I don't know what they're doing. We do experiences. You come to us, we give you experiences within Nigeria, outside Nigeria. You see, tourism have sector. Tourism has niche. That's what they call niche market. If you go and study travels and tourism, there are niche markets, and each of the markets is equally important. Yeah. If Michael is selling Nigeria and I do not take what is selling to South Africa, it's of no use. We make more money when we sell our tourism to the world.
That's true.
Because it's the same narrative. That's where we make more money, and that's where we will put ourselves in the global map. When you talk about putting Nigeria in the global map, it's not because you are selling Nigerian tourism to Nigerians. You are selling it to the world, to the globe. That's what puts us on the global map. So it's a niche. Yeah, let everybody find his niche and let us work together. Michael talked about collaboration. Let's find our niche and work together. Some people just focus on age tourism for elderly. Why some focus, like Michael is taking the tourism now from the perspective of movies and shows and all that. That is a niche market. Another one can focus his tourism on a particular. That's the beautiful thing about tourism. At the end of the day, we all bring it together in one pool and we make it stronger. Yeah. So now, for instance, I go to WTM to take a stand now, and somebody like Michael, with everything he has done, with his permission, he joins and brings those videos. That is what we are talking about. He has a niche and he sells only in Nigeria. Beautiful. It's a niche market. That's the beautiful thing about tourism. Find your niche, stay in it, and prosper it. The most important thing, that niche, we should begin to combine it together. There are people that their niche market in tourism is just cultural things. Yeah. Do you know, even this our juju, yeah, it's also tourism, if well packaged. As there are packages for some African countries for voodoo tourism. They call their own voodoo, we call our own juju. It's a niche market. Somebody that sells voodoo tourism, that is his niche market. And now, the country in Africa, I think Senegal, is this Senegal? I can't remember now, that does voodoo tourism. I've taken their voodoo tourism to the world. Now,
even in Uganda, same thing. They have a voodoo island that they took us to. That's all they sell on that island. All their gods, deities is on that island.
Oh yes, that's the beautiful thing about tourism. You find your niche. Your niche will be driven by your passion. Find the niche, stay in it, get collaborators, work together, and make it one beautiful Nigerian tourism. So thank you very much once again, Musa. Like I said before, we are here to promote it in and out, working with the likes of Michael that does only domestic tourism. That's what we need. We need the content. We need more of it so that we will have more products sell the world and bring them in. Yeah, somebody has to be doing it locally for somebody like me to bring people to come and experience, to bring my colleagues in other African countries to come and experience it. So it's a collaborative effort. It's not about what this person is doing is not important. At the end of the day, what is the main thing? We are promoting our country and our destination. I'm not going to give up. Please, Otumba Michael, do not give up. The light at the end of the tunnel is going to shine upon us in tourism very soon.
My
president, we can't even give up. You know why? The minute we try to give up, something else comes up. I'll tell you a short story before we go. Last year, I went to Netherlands. People were like, how? Who do you know? I will tell you this thing for free. And that's one of the biggest achievements personally for me. Because this is not something somebody introduced me to. The Nigerian ambassador to Netherlands came on my DM and said, I've seen what you've been doing with my colleague, the Nigerian ambassador to Greece, Nemi, who happens to be my friend and business partner before she became the ambassador to Nigeria to Greece. And this woman just said, you know what? I have been studying what you've been doing, and I found out that you're not working for the government, that you're doing your thing. I said, yes, ma, I'm not working. I'm not holding a brief for Nigeria tourism, NCDC or anything. And she said, what? Said, we are celebrating our October 1st Independence Day at the Hague. I want you to be my special guest. Send me your data page. In less than 3 weeks, this woman got me a multiple Schengen visa. I stayed in her residence for that 10 days in Netherlands. Wow. I have never met this woman in person. We met on Instagram DM and I stayed. I had the best time. She introduced me, set up meetings with the top tourism people in Netherlands for free. I got back to Nigeria. She introduced me to the governor of Ekiti State, gave me the man's number. I sent a message. The man said, wow, I've heard so much about you. We went to Ikogosi. We had a meeting with the governor. I introduced myself, said, oh, finally I get to meet you. This woman celebrated me in a hall filled with diplomats, ambassadors from all over at the Hague. She doesn't know anybody in my family. We've never met before till the day I got to Netherlands. They picked me up with the official embassy car. And I was looking at myself at the back of a BM with the Nigerian flag, like my father, if you are alive. See this boy, this boy that doesn't know people. I don't have a godfather in any government. And I'm here in Netherlands because a woman saw what I'm doing. Is that not enough to keep you going? How can I give up? My son is 16 years old. He lives in London. He's British. The guy has an Instagram page called Talk to Nigeria Junior. In school, he's promoting Nigeria through the page of things he sees on my Instagram. He posts it on his own Instagram at 16. So that's why I said for me, it is more of a legacy business. It's not about the money anymore. I want to die tomorrow and my son will say, my dad did this in Nigeria in tourism. That's the beautiful part of my own story, not the politics or the money they are doing. So that is my own personal victory. And that's why I can't give up on this country. I still break Nigeria every day.
So thank you very much. This was so inspiring story. And to tell you the fact, I share same story with with Oga Otumba. I was just sent an email and invited to Turkey, and same happened for Singapore. Just someone see what I'm doing, and I do little from what I thought I'm doing, and I got invitation, and I know nobody, and I met to Turkey and Singapore, which I felt like it's a cloud nine. But today I'm hearing the guy's story, so it's amazing. It's amazing. So here we come. Here we come to the end of today is the Nollywood Deal Makers, where we discuss with everybody who is part of the film business value chain. And today is one of the value chain we get to engage and discuss with one of the respected industry veteran, Mr. Frank Mickey, and Mr. Susan, the president of Nanta Tourism Travel Agents Association of Nigeria, and Otumba Michael Balogun of the Tour to Nigeria, where they have given us a kind of perfect insight to what is going on in the tourism sector and why the intervention of Nollywood is very vital. It's very vital to the building and destination branding of Nigeria. So I do believe we have learned so much from all their views, all their perspectives, all their analysis, and I believe we can take away home a lot of things. And policy makers and these our leaders, especially to maybe President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his new advisor, special advisor, Hannatu Musawa, and all the stakeholders, and even the the coming minister. We believe they will all learn from all our today's discussion and could involve the hands, the expertise and skills of like minds like Oga Frank, Otumba, Susan, and the industry stakeholders. And here we come to the end of the Nollywood Deal Makers, and I believe we learn so much. And until next time, I say have a lovely dreams.